Sony confirms PS5 Slim for this holiday season. This comes to us from IGN, written by Wesley Yinpool, same person who wrote the last article there for us. Sony has confirmed the heavily rumored PlayStation 5 Slim, which is due out for this holiday season. The smaller PS5 design comes with 1 terabyte in storage. Oh, okay, so it is an updated hard drive. I thought I'd
barely.
That. Yeah, barely. For the PS5 and the PS5 Digital Edition, up from $825. So yeah, not a ton more, but it's a little bit more. And the new model provides the option to add an Ultra HD Blu-ray drive to the PS5 Digital Edition. In a post on the PlayStation blog, Sid Schumann, Senior Director, SIE Content Communications, said Sony created this new PS5 to address the evolving needs of players. Our engineering and design teams collaborated on a new form factor that provides greater choice and flexibility, Schumann said. The same technology features that make PS5 the best to play are packed into a smaller form factor, along with an attachable Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive and a 1 terabyte SSD for more internal storage. And here's some images to you podcast viewers. Kind of interesting design. It doesn't look much different other than supposedly it's a little smaller. Barely. The new PS5 has been reduced in volume by more than 30% and weight by 18 and 24% compared to the previous model, Sony said. There are 4 separate cover panels with the top portion in a glossy look while the bottom remains in matte. If you buy the PS5 Digital Edition, you can add the Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive for PS5 later, as it will be sold separately for $79.99. The new PS5 model will be available starting this November in the US at select local retailers and direct.playstation.com where available, Sony added. So here's the breakdown of pricing, and this is where things get a little out of hand. Also, my camera just shut down.
Ridiculous. This is where they get ridiculous.
Yeah, this is where everything gets real wonky with everything they're doing here. So the PS5 with the Blu-ray drive is $500. You know what? No different than it was before. All right, cool. I mean, it would have been nice if it was a little discounted, but whatever. That's usually what happens with the Slim, as it gets cheaper, but all right, okay, whatever. The PS5 Digital Edition is up $50. That's right, it's $449 now. It was $400 previously. They apparently made it smaller, but you pay more for it. I don't know.
What are we? Insanity.
I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't know why that's how that. I don't know. It is wild. And then, like we said before, if you want to upgrade to the disc drive, it's an extra $80. So I would have been fine with, okay, if I upgrade my disc drive later, it's going to cost me $80. That would have been fine if the PS5 Digital is staying at $40, because it's almost like it's dumb, but it's like, all right, I pay a little bit of a quote unquote penalty for upgrading later. Whatever. Cool. Fine.
Right.
But since the digital went from $400 to $450 and then it's another $80 on top of that, I'm like, what? This, that's just wild. I don't know what they're smoking over there. Absolutely wonky.
It doesn't make sense, right? Because if you're Sony, you want to incentivize people to buy the digital version, so they buy directly from you, right? So why would you charge? It's a deterrent, really. Yeah. If you think about it, right? If you buy the digital one, making the disc drive more expensive than buying the physical makes it so that you make sure that you think twice before you buy that drive, because you know you're going to end up paying more than you would have for the one with the drive bundled in. So it's kind of it's a scheme on that end, right? So did you mention that the stand, you have to buy the stand now?
That's the next part here. So it comes with a horizontal stand, which is interesting. So with the normal PS5, it comes with a stand that works both horizontally and vertically. So you can use it both ways. With this PS5 Slim, it comes with a stand, but only the horizontal stand, which who in the world stands their PS5 horizontally? I don't know. Because
serial killers?
Yeah, right. But if you want to buy the vertical stand, which is the proper way to display your PS5, it costs you an extra $30. for the vertical stands. Apparently it works with all models of the PS5. So not only the slim one, but it works with mine. So, which is wild. So if you want to upgrade it, I think it's metal. If I was looking at it, it was like, so it's a new metal stand, basically. Shiny, chrome, whatever. So if I want a chrome stand for the mine or for my slim, it's going to be an extra 30 buckaroonies, which is wild. But I don't know what they're smoking over there. Like, not only do they up the price of the digital, but then they're like, oh, also the stand that it comes with only works in one orientation. If you want to do the other one, it's DLC. You got to pay the DLC, dude. You know. So here's some specifications. It's all the same specs. The only thing that's changing is the SSD going up to 1 terabyte. And then
also not worth $50, but go ahead, Sony.
Yeah. And here's the external dimensions. They have it in millimeters, but I'm not going to read this. You can look at it in the video. Or I highlighted it for you.
It's 30% smaller and 20% lighter, I believe.
So that's the thing. They say that, but then when I read somewhere else, I was reading an article that had the measurements in inches, and I was like, I pulled out the tape measure and measured mine. I'm like, oh, they say 30% in my head. I'm like, oh, 30%, that sounds pretty decent. And then I actually like measured it out. I'm like, oh, that's like barely smaller. Like, it's barely slimmer. It's like, is that
it should
worth
be a
it?
third off, basically, but
right. Like, if you're supposedly cutting it down a third, first of all, like, I don't know. It's, to me, it's just wild that if I was to buy it, it would barely actually be smaller, and then on top of that, they're charging me more for it. Like, it's getting smaller and lighter, and then they're taking pieces and parts out of this thing, and then they're gonna charge me more for it. I don't know. PS5 or PlayStation is just kind of losing their mind over there.
This really could have been a slam dunk, man.
Yeah.
Like, you could have done 400 for the disc model, and then even if you wanted to raise the price, it would have still been 350 for the digital. But if you really want to like get aggressive with it, get mean with it, if I'm Sony, because PlayStation's, they're not selling at a loss anymore. They've been selling at a profit for a while, right? Mm-hmm. What I'm doing, my disc edition is 400. My digital edition is 300. I'm going right after Series S.
Yeah. Do it. Yeah,
even if that means the digital has the smaller hard drive just to compensate for that,
right?
Like it keeps the same 825 hard drive, I would do it. Because you'd have to be a maniac to not buy a PS5 over a Series S if they are the exact same price.
Yeah. I guess what's so bizarre to me as well is, like, historically, when the Slim Edition comes out, it's discounted.
It's cheaper.
Like when the PS2 went to the PS2 Slim, PS3 went to PS3 Slim.
Yeah.
And then PS3 even had the Super Slim. You know, they came out with 2 different versions.
And that got even cheaper too.
Not even like that's what when I finally bought my own PS3, it was the Super Slim for like $150, you know,
right.
or something like 100. It was like our Black Friday deal. I think it was down to like 100. I paid $100 for my PS3. So it's like, it just, what is going on over there that they're like, again, like this just doesn't make sense historically even either. Like, why would I pay more for something? Or even the same, like the disk drive one is the same. Why is it the same and more for something that's smaller? Like, the whole point of the Slim is to bring in, all right, we've made plenty of sales on the original, and we want to bring in the next group of people who might be interested in upgrading from the PS4. All right, let's drop the price a hair. And then like in another 3 years, all right, here's the Super Slim where we can bring in the next batch of people. Like, even just, I don't know. This is a new strategy, and I don't think it's going to work out for them.
It's greedy.
That's my
What else could it be?
Yeah.
It's not inflation. It can't be inflation.
No.
Because if it was real inflation, you would have increased the price here, just like you increased it in all the other markets at the same time. Yeah. So it can't be that. So don't try to use that card. It's greed.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they had the perfect opportunity. $399 main unit, $299 digital unit. I would have made the drive $100.
Yeah. The drive. Oh yeah. For like to upgrade the slim unit. Yeah. So that way you're just paying the same price or whatever, like as the disk drive. Like you're not actually getting penalized or anything for it. Yeah. 100%. Right.
So yeah, I would have did $399, $299, make the drive $99, and then I would do everything in my power to just crush Series S. There's no reason you would be buying a Series S at all. Yeah. And then you're also undercutting the X by $100 too.
Yeah, exactly. People at the price of an S, you're getting similar power to an X.
Right.
And PlayStation just laughs all the way to the bank, but instead they're going the greedy route and they're actually going to lose money probably.
Dumb.
Right?
Dumb.
They could make more money by actually charging less probably, but instead they're going to charge more and everyone's going to be like, what? Like, no,
why?
Thank you.
This makes no sense.
I'll wait.
Also, charging for the stand is literal
highway robbery.
Insanity behavior. I've never heard it. I've heard of like charging for stands that it didn't come with the system.
Right.
Like at all.
Because for the PS3 and the PS2, they had separately sold stands, but it's because like
I never bought a stand for my PS3. It just stood up.
Yeah.
It has feet on the bottom.
But the design of these, they force you, if you want to stand up, you have to, unless you're fine with it, like precariously just floating there, like, or duct tape it to the desk. I don't know. Like, it's like such a terrible design. Like, it doesn't stand on its own unless you really want to tempt fate. Yeah, I don't know what's going on over at Sony, but they just hate their customers.
I mean, with the random price hikes to PS Plus, PSVR being $550. Right. It's tough to make a case that they don't.
Imagine buying a PSVR 2 for $550 when for $500 you could buy the Quest 3, which is just like
there's no way to justify that.
People are raving about how awesome. I mean, there's not to say there's not. Like I watched a video today called "The Good, Bad, the Ugly." There are bad things, there's ugly things about Quest 3, but overall,
I mean, with every product.
But with overall, like people are like loving the technology, and it's a self-contained unit. You don't need a console or a PC, and like,
I mean,
what madman buys a PSVR 2 when I can spend $50 less and have something that I can use anywhere I want and have just as good fidelity and tracking and all that stuff.
Also, you have to factor in, right? You can't just tell people that PSVR 2 is $50 or $550. It's not. It's at least $950 because you have to buy the PS5 to power it. Exactly. So you're looking at the minimum $950 to run a PSVR 2 versus $500 for the Quest.
Yeah.
So you're not making a very good case here, especially with one exclusive title that's out right now.
Which I will.
Or one premier like headlining title.
I want to address something I just said a minute ago about it having similar quality to PSVR 2. I know that's not technically 100% accurate because in the self-contained unit, it's going to be a lower fidelity than the PSVR 2. But it has the ability to be on par if you use it with like the Oculus Link and stuff like that. So self-contained, because I know we've gotten hate in the past when we talked about PSVR. Well, it was like 6 months ago. Remember that guy in the comments said there's no way an Oculus the Quest 3 is well, yeah, here it is. It's out. Came out a couple days ago.
Well, dude. Of course, physics wouldn't allow that. It's not physically possible for a Quest 3 to be equally as powerful as a PS5.
We're right again. We were right about Starfield. We're right about Quest 3. Imagine that.
Physics doesn't allow that, dude.
But anyways, I just want to clarify before you jump in the comments and jump down my throat again. I understand that 1-to-1, one has less, but the Quest 3 I think has the capability to be just as good as the PSVR 2, just through the link cable, which is honestly how I use my Quest more often than not. I actually rarely use it as just its own standalone unit. I usually use it with my PC or with my laptop or whatever, but
or just the fact that it is a self-contained unit could be the better experience for the player depending on what you're doing.
Oh, 100%. Like that's another thing. Like being able to jump in the Beat Saber and not have any wires, like that's phenomenal. Like
not having to pack up my whole PlayStation 5 if I want to take it over to a friend's house to show it off to them.
dude.
That alone is worth the consideration. So
I played Arizona Sunshine with my parents, like the zombie game, and like the standalone in the headset unit, and like the game looks incredible. And that's in my Quest 2. I don't even have the Quest 3 yet. I'm hankering to pick up the Quest 3 probably in the next few months. I'm gonna wait for the sale.
One day
for the sale, because the Quest 2.
Oh, you're gonna be waiting a while.
Well, no, what was it? It was the Quest Pro, or the Oculus Pro, whatever it's called. I was reading an article that they were like, within like 3-4 months, like that ended up dropping in price. They think there's a chance the Quest 3 could either go on sale or drop in price within the next 6 months or so. I'm like, all right, I can hold
The best you'll probably get is like $50 off.
Hey, $50 is $50.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't be in the market for like, oh, Quest 3 is $350 now or something like that.
No, I'm just looking.
Maybe the end of next year you might see something crazy like that.
No, I mean I'm just looking for, because I don't need a VR headset right now. So that's why I'm like, because my Quest 2 works just fine. So for me, it's more like I don't need it. So any sale is going to be great. Like it doesn't need to be $100. It could just be the $50, just to get me a little closer to kind of not breaking even, but you know what I mean, kind of cushioning the blow a little bit when I sell my Quest 2, you know,
right?
Because obviously it's not going to fully cover the new one. But so yeah, Sony hates its customers, and they just need the new CEO in there sooner than later. Get Shuhei,
please.
There's someone, anyone. Thank you so much for watching that clip from our podcast. Remember, if you want to watch the whole episode, the full episode, link will be in the description below. You can click on that and check it out. We got listener questions. We got more news segments. We got what you playing. We got a lot of fun things. So yeah, more than just the news. There's a lot more to the show that you should go check out. So remember, click that link in the description. Check out that full episode.